Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 360 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing TKOG, and we're going to be continuing Breakaboard Workshop. I should say WRECKSHOP. And right now, what's going on in Season 2 is we've actually just been going in on these Sword Soul boards. Sword Soul is just such a popular and strong deck, and it's just a great choice for a lot of people. So I just felt like out of all the boards I wanted to pick, this was one that's actually fun to crack, and it's one of the fewer boards. Well, it's one of the boards this format where you can break it with engine. It's not like a scythe lock deck. Granted, scythe lock decks are a little bit more fragile, and I think Sword Soul is just resilient. It's resilient, it's good, its inboards are great. You typically have interruptions coming from everywhere, back row, hand traps, and your synchro negates, and it plays through disruptions good. And with breaking this board, like if you play against like Punk, they don't have great follow-up, you know, and they don't have like a high kill potential, so it's okay if you can't OTK sometimes, but still play through the disruptions and break the board. But with Sword Soul, you kind of sometimes want to make sure that if you can't kill them, that they can't play, because they can just OTK you out of nowhere on their follow-up. I've been testing SHADDOLLS. I went through my Virtual World Sword Soul list, and it did phenomenal. It literally, the best highlight it had was playing through Ash, Imperm, Nib, Chi-Shao, Blackout, Baron. Just doesn't even seem possible. I have it on video. And I did that with the SHADDOLLS as well. I did that with the SHADDOLLS more than with the Sword Soul. Actually, the SHADDOLLS have been doing better than the Virtual World Sword Souls. But I already knew that, because this deck is just crazy. It's a lot more consistent. It requires less to play. Virtual World's great, though. I'm not going to lie. But SHADDOLLS they're just crazy, you guys. This deck's so powerful. So first and foremost, if you like this kind of content, definitely subscribe. Click the notification bell if you do subscribe. Leave a like and a comment for the algorithm. Help your boy out. Check the description box. The links to my Discord and my Patreon are going to be in there if you want to support my channel. I definitely recommend. Those are ways that you can support me that I appreciate. But nonetheless, just you watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing is enough to help me out as well. If you guys want to receive tutoring and mentorship from me or coaching, the Patreon tier 2 and above is the way to go. So let's get it started. So far so good. Like I said, 3 times we didn't clear this board with SHADDOLLS was unplayable hand, no starters at all. I drew like all the one-ups. I drew like the traps, I drew Albaz, dolls. It happens, but it's only happened once, thank God. Other time I drew Super Poly, Gamma. Actually, I've said this so many times in the videos. I feel like, why do I keep saying it? It's just in case if they didn't watch, you guys don't watch the videos before this one, so you didn't hear like that happen, but I said in this video. But I don't know, if you guys just watch the videos, you'll see. I've only failed 3 times, and all 3 times my hand was, once it was not playable at all, and twice it was barely playable, and every attempt except the unplayable hand, I made a huge dent. I cleared basically the entire board, but had nothing left to play with, and I had no follow-up, and I didn't have a way to interact on their turn, and I didn't have a board myself, but my bad hands at least played through all the interruptions. So we're up against Ash, Imperm, Blackout, Chi-Shao, Baron to floor. Let's go. Gamma Super Poly looking saucy. L SHADDOLL Fusion. L Hedgehog and SHADDOLL Fusion. This is an all doll hand, and I'm okay with that. If I had to pick only one of the 3 engines I play in my 8s, Albaz and Vogue Dolls, the SHADDOLLS are the strongest one. They just carry this deck. What I can see here, L is definitely expendable because I have a second copy. And what I would do, L always forces negates. Sorry, it just happens. So I think what I would do first and foremost is I would use L to trade with Baron. And then I would activate SHADDOLL Fusion to check for Ash, because my hand's playable whether this resolves or not, but I have Gamma, and this is my last opportunity for Gamma to be impactful. I don't want to force L SHADDOLL to Fusion to resolve. Like, I'm okay with Baron negating it, even if I didn't have a second copy of L, because I can add it back to my grave and activate it again. So I want to hold my Gamma to actually force this SHADDOLL Fusion to resolve. So SHADDOLL Fusion, they actually do have Ash in this test hand, or this little test run. And I would chain the Gamma to negate the Ash. what I would do here is summon driver, and I can still make construct. So what I need to do is check to see if the back row's real and force out Qishao at the same time. If I get lucky, I snipe blackout. If not, I hit the other one, and if it's a bluff, it's a bluff. But at least I'll know, you know what I mean? So right now, I don't have like a strong doll. I'd rather not actually use Hedgehog's effect in Engrave, just in case I need to flip it in search. But for sure, I need to see if the back row's real. So I need to send Dragon, and I don't know if I want to use Windy's effect yet, because I can get Windy access. Because I know the line I already see in my head is Op Cologne, target Qishao to perm negate. Qishao tries to negate Op Cologne. Actually, I would Op Cologne, because I have Super Poly. I mean, L could just make the Qishao miss his target. Same with, like, you can actually counterplay Droplet with L if they don't send spell, which high possibility they don't even have one. They have Monster Trap for sure, we know. But in this test hand, I don't know this Droplet, but I can counterplay Droplet with both of these quick plays in my hand. But I need to check the back row, so I for sure dump Dragon, because the thing is, this hand can already make Construct without Shadow Fusion, but I can't really make Op Cologne, you know, without checking if the back row is real, because Construct could potentially get me, because I could just go for Construct, right, and dump Dragon, see if the back row is real, and then L for Op Cologne, but I'd rather start with the Op Cologne and Construct after, because I value the Construct to be able to just keep playing more, because the Construct is not a card you want to use to navigate through a board. You want to use Op Cologne to do that, because he trades better, whereas Construct is like kind of like a tempo card. After you've traded with the interruptions, Construct is just going to be able to build the momentum advantage back up that you lost. So I definitely think, because I know Blackout's a possibility, so I have Super Poly though, so I don't even have to worry, because what I was thinking was if I dump Windy now and use her effect, I'd have to worry about Blackout, but I actually don't, because I have Super Poly and El Shadow Fusion, so yeah, that's just not happening to me. So I would dump Windy. And this is definitely gonna crack through a lot. We forced Baron and we forced Ash. So we're looking at Qishao, Blackout, Unknown. We're going to summon Op Cologne. Just put him in attack. And this can be interacted with Qishao no matter what, so I would put this as Chainlink 3. Chainlink 1, Windy, Chainlink, so 3, 2 Dragon, Windy 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to target a back row. Every single video, like literally every single breaker board with this specific board, every time I have a way to target a back row, I always say I don't target the Blackout so that it's not easier to break the board. Even though it's 50-50 and in real life, there's just a high chance of me hitting the Blackout, which would force it preemptively, and that's just easier to clear the board. But in these instances, every time I've just been targeting the wrong back row. And in this instance, it actually kind of sucks most of the time, because I Dragon, target the set, and it's the Imperm, and they just chain it, so the Dragon didn't really do anything that the Op Cologne wasn't going to be able to do, because Op Cologne it's better to Imperm this most of the time and save your Qishao. So, especially because it's already getting targeted anyways. It's going to be pop, so you use it or lose it. So, we'll be targeting the Unknown without knowing, you know, and this would be targeting Qishao, and Windy would be Chainlink 1. So what they would do is they'd flip the Imperm to target the Op Cologne as Chainlink 4, and that would keep their Qishao and their Blackout. And what we would do, instead of chaining El Shaddol Fusion, because like that just plays harder into Blackout anyways, and why would you do that? You just conveniently chain Super Poly, and if you didn't have Super Poly, trust me, this board was still getting cleared. Believe me when I say, like, it was still getting cleared. So what I would do here is actually the Op Clone would target the Baron and perm negate the Baron. Because that, just in case I don't clear it, that's something that I don't have to worry about anymore. Like the standby phase, tag out, blackout, hitting my schism. I won't have to worry about that play. So I think target this, and either way, they're probably gonna be able to telegraph Super Poly. So they flip the imperm, target the Op Cologne, and now it's like they either use Chijao or they just play on the risk. Either way, whether they use Chijao or not, you know, it's not going to do anything because the only card that matters to negate is being negated by Imperm. And so we ask for response, the Chainlink 4 Imperm, and what we'll do is Chainlink 5 Super Poly. And this is still going to perm negate the Baron, by the way. The Imperm's going to miss its target. We would actually discard the SHADDOLL fusion because you can just add one from grave to hand. So keeping Hedgehog is just better value. And we get rid of the Chijao, the Baron's perm negate, the what's it called? Ash has been baited by SHADDOLL fusion, Gamma negated it. Imperm has been flipped on the Op Cologne. Chijao and Blackout are gone thanks to Super Poly. The board's broken. Now we just need to get to work on building our own, getting follow-up, making sure they can't play, or at least we don't die. So now everything's going to resolve. So the only stuff that's actually going to be activating now in the resolution is just literally the Windy, because the chain's still resolving. So Dragon did its work, Op Cologne did his job, Separate Chain Op Cologne effect's going to be cracked. Windy is going to summon out... I have everything but Schism, and truth be told, I high-key don't need a resolve Hedgehog to search Schism, because when I think about it, Construct can dump Schism, and I can still add SHADDOLL fusion to be able to fuse with her to add the Schism back. And I'll still have SHADDOLL fusion, so I can clear the whole field. So, actually, that means Windy has a little bit of flexibility. Because I haven't normal summoned, so there's a chance of drawing a good normal summon. I have Engine no matter what, so... Hedgehog, if this beast doesn't draw something good, I'm getting SHADDOLL fusion back because of Op Cologne. I can discard the Hedgehog and then search so that SHADDOLL fusion can still keep playing, and I don't have to clear my whole field. And Construct would just send Schism, or would I send Resh to like flip what I summon off Windy to get immediate value, like Beast to see if I could draw more Engine? Because I already have, I'm clearing the field and I have L, so I already have broken the board, I have follow-up, I can play, I can protect myself, I can stop them from playing with L, because I can go into Winda using Construct, and the doll I search off Hedgehog. So the only thing that I need to address now is like how much farther I want to go. And I think maybe getting a chance for just an extra backup play. I mean, I could also just summon Dragon, summon another Squamata, and leave it, so on my opponent's turn, like I have a point of interaction with SHADDOLL fusion to make Winda, and then Dragon to like flip and bounce. If they have a Monk play with like a Vishuddha to out the Winda, I could just bounce the Monk and they can't clear Winda now because, you know, they're under Winda. But I actually like the Beast play, so we'll summon this off the resolution of that chain. New chains are going to be Op Cologne and Construct. I kind of value Construct more, so I would go Construct 1, Op 2. Up would go ahead. I actually don't need to add back L. I can just fuse into Winda in the battle phase, actually. Yeah, I'm tripping. I can fuse into Winda in the battle phase. So if I add Schism, discard Hedgehog, and then resolve Construct, sending Trap, like, I still don't. Yeah, I forgot. I have to do that to get L. Like, I have to get L back to actually be able to get the Construct Engrave. I'm tripping. So I have to add back L. Discard Hedgehog. I'm being greedy. So, discard Hedgehog. Resolve Construct to actually send Resh. Like, playing in a Nib with this deck literally doesn't matter because Shaddolls never ever lose to Nib. Invoke never really loses to Nib. The deck just doesn't care about Nib, so it doesn't even matter. Because if they Nib, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not losing anything. So that doesn't even matter. Like, most of the time, this deck, you don't even have to care about it unless they're nibbing you in response to a fusion spell and they're clearing your whole field. That's the only time when playing in a nib matters. Is like you activate a fusion like L and you have monsters in field and you played in a nib already and they chain it, but that just never really comes up because if you've got to the point where you can be nibbed, you've already resolved what you need to resolve, and they're just going to give you a bunch of cards back to hand and you're still going to have window access, and it's going to be crazy. So add L, discard Hedgehog, construct resolve dump trap, new chain Hedgehog to add Squamata. And this is good because we can still dump the Schism when we draw with Beast, discard, and we still have L to play. So what I would do is I would be like, hey, let's just go to battle phase. Okay, let's go battle phase. Actually, no, because there's a chance we might get more damage on board, and we could potentially OTK. Because if you go to battle phase with L, that's only 22, 47, 57. That's not enough damage. So we might as well, yeah. Let's go. Everything's gone. Like, we've played through Ash, Imperm, Blackout, Chishout. Like, if they have another hand trap, it's miraculous, but just, I'm so far ahead now, it doesn't even matter. Let's see. I would bench the Expendable. I'm already going to have a different attribute anyways. Actually, I do have a second copy of Hedgehog, and having a different attribute would come up. So, this is Gizm. So, flip Beast, and let's shuffle and see if we draw like a power play like Meltdown or Branded Fusion or anything insane. Like, just anything that's not all dolls, because we've done all of this with just doll cards. Branded Fusion, that's so funny. And now we just literally just discard Branded Fusion. Because why not? It's the freest discard. So the Beast play was actually worth it. We haven't normal summoned, so I actually think I was kind of incorrect about that. We have game. I think we have game even without drawing Branded Fusion. Because if we normaled Squamata and went battle phase, construct mandatory destruction on the Baron, we would go 18, 25, that's 43, plus 1,000, that's 53. Activate L in battle phase, that's 81. So we had game without the Branded Fusion, so yeah. Because we didn't normal summon. So we clear the board, OTK, and just too many plays. Plays for days, so yeah. Woo! Shaddolls, you guys. Cray cray. Imagine a Sword Soul player setting up a board like that, having Ash and Imperm plus their board, and getting the whole thing broke, getting OTK'd, and the player being so up on advantage, it just doesn't even make sense. Like, I was so up, it was just crazy. Like, Branded Fusion, I could fuse into Squamata, get the freaking Schism engraved, set up the window. Just so plus. I could make Mirror Jade. I could end on Mirror Jade window with Schism. It's just so insane. Because I literally just go Squamata dump, construct add back. I might still choose the L just because it plays around the blackout better, like normal summon blackout. Yeah, I would still choose L Shadoll Fusion, matter of fact. So I could activate it in like draw phase, put a second window. So there's no way they just out it. They have to like Dark Ruler or Droplet with like no cards in hand. So let's reset, you guys. Let me check timer real fast. And I can't see that. Okay. So it looks like 15 minutes, I think. Whew. You guys, this deck is just, wow. This deck is so good. am kind of tired though. I might stop after this one. So. Let's see. So we're gonna power shuffle for sure. Oh man, you guys, this deck is just crazy. Like, SHADDOLLS. Who would have thought? Such a goated legendary deck. It's so funny. Like, even if they had Nib, it wouldn't even matter. Like, they just would protect themselves from being OTK'd. Like, that's it. Drawing the Branded Fusion off Beast. Cracked. Alright, same board. Let's go. Gamma, Branded Fusion. Oh, that's it. That alone. This trades with Baron. This checks for Ash. This forces it to resolve. And that's really strong already. We need more though. I mean, it sounds greedy, but I feel like, well, that's redundant. Yeah, that hand's redundant. Dang, that sucks. We drew double. Okay, this still kind of works because we can Meltdown, let them negate it because we have another Meltdown, activate it, and they shouldn't Ash it because what you want to do is just like hold your Ash for the power spell like the Branded or the SHADDOLL Fusion. Meltdown doesn't really negate that. You can't, Meltdown doesn't protect you from Ash, and you just get Alistair and like your Chi-Zhao and your Imperm can trade with that. So, because if you were going to Ash Meltdown, you would have just Ashed it, you wouldn't Baron it. So, there's a reason why. And if they do, they get punished anyways, but we Meltdown. Wow, this isn't that bad. I guess the thing that I was missing was like the lack of dog cards, but you know, I can't expect to just draw a bunch of dog cards every time. And that's actually not what people want. They don't want to draw dog cards. It's actually the other way around when people play this deck, but I like drawing my dogs. So, before I normal Alistair, I want to check for Ash now. Branded Fusion, and they do have Ash in this instance, so I'll chain Gamma. And this is cracked because Branded Fusion is going to resolve, and there's going to be 0 interaction for this Branded Fusion on resolution. So this is, I'm going to check for what's left after I see how far I can get with this. But I'm definitely resolving Lubellion, which is a big deal. And I have Alistair in hand. And I can go Lubellion into a Construct. And Construct's effect will activate. And because Lubellion, actually, like if you guys read Lubellion, like when he summons that monster, it actually counts as a fusion summon. So you would still get the Meltdown protection from Lubellion. Like Lubellion will resolve. They can't do anything because it's on summon. Then it would summon a Construct. And they still can't do anything. And then Construct would check for whatever else they have. But the other cool play is that you could actually make a Mirror Jade by sending Squamata still, and you would be able to dump the Squamata with the Lubellion, summon the Mirror Jade, and resolve the Squamata, and you would just like dump a Windy, and in a new chain, you would be summoning out the Mirror Jade, and you still would get Mirror Jade and Squamata's protection, protected by Meltdown, so you would just Mirror Jade on summon, banish Chi-Zhao to clear Blackout and Chi-Zhao, and then Squamata would, the card that Squamata resolved would, that's why Dragon being in deck would kind of help, but the card that Squamata sent would also just be able to resolve its effect, so you're literally, the only thing that you don't know about is the one back row if you take the Mirror Jade route, because you could still, the only thing that would make that play bad is if the back row is real, because like you would still have Mirror Jade, and you would have played through most of the board, but the Squamata dump wouldn't really do you any justice because you don't have Dragon in deck, so you can't, like if you had Dragon in deck, the Branded Fusion actually clears the whole field with Meltdown up, because You take care of Chixiao Blackout with protection of Meltdown, Mirror Jade on summon, and the Squamata that you dump off of the fusion play could dump Dragon, and it would get his protection, and that'd just be insane. But you'd obviously have to snipe it. So as good as that is, I think if we go for the Construct and get Construct on summon, Construct can net us the advantage that can still, because we have Meltdown up. I mean, we would give them a chance to black out the Meltdown though, but that would be clearing the Chixiao in the process, so we'd only have to worry about the back row anyway, so we could just force it. Because if we go Construct, we would just be going full combo. We would be dumping Squamata, Summon Construct, New Chain, Construct with Squamata, and we would just dump Shadoll Fusion, to be honest. Because we know they don't have Ashley already used it. We would dump Shadoll Fusion, and we would use Squamata to dump probably L Shadoll Fusion, and we would go Battle Phase, Construct, declare an attack on Chixiao, force the Blackout to hit the Construct and one of these, and that would trigger Construct to add L Shadoll Fusion, right? Add L Shadoll Fusion, and then we would activate it from hand, send the Dragon and the Gamma, summon Construct again, pop the last back row, and get Construct to go ahead and dump the Windy? But we can't fusion again after that. So I just have to really think these plays through. They're all good. Basically, Meltdown Branded Fusion is doing all this because all the Gamma did was like protect it from Ash. So Meltdown Branded Fusion is giving me all these different lines. The Mirror Jade play is good if I had Dragon. But I think Construct, it's going to give me the most mileage. So yeah, I would just go for Lubellion. Funny enough, I could still dump the Dragon off the Lubellion play, now that I think about it, and here's how. Because I can still discard the Dragon. I forgot about that. I can still discard the Dragon for cost of Lubellion, even with Squamata in the chain, and Lubellion would still shuffle the Dragon back, and then Squamata will resolve to send the Dragon. So I didn't think that through. That's actually pretty crazy. So I think the Mirror Jade play, it would work. It would clear everything, but I just don't have Doll follow-up, so I'm still going to go for Construct no matter what. Because the Shaddolls are just better follow-up than... Even as good as Mirror Jade is, the Doll engine is better than the Despia engine, just to be honest. It's brutally honest. Summon Lubellion, dump Squamata, and Dragon. This would check if the back row's real by going 1-2. You don't really have to tell them chain links, but still, you might as well. Discard the Dragon, shuffle it back off this. So you probably put this as chain link 1, so that this would resolve first to shuffle, so that so that the Squamata can still send the Dragon. Summon Cons, and then chain link 1 resolve to dump Dragon, and then a new chain on summon Construct and Dragon, and yeah, you would just snipe that. I would give myself the luxury that you actually would snipe the Imperm this time, because every other video I was literally just like always hitting the wrong card. So you would hit either the Imperm or the Blackout. Either way, you're clearing an interruption. So let's say you hit the Imperm. Then you would be able, because they can't flip the Blackout. So even if you hit the Blackout, right, for example, and they still have Imperm, it doesn't even matter. It's just kind of crazy. But you would hit the Imperm, and then Construct's going to resolve. This should all fusion. And then you just go battle just to clear it. Attack. Chixiao can negate it. Doesn't matter. It's 28 for 28. At this back. That's cleared. Should all fusion. And main phase 2. Just freaking insane, you guys. Like, honestly, this is too good. We would go for Windy. find a light because we want to do the cons play again just to get that advantage. Yeah, because we have no way to get Op and Grave anymore, so we want to summon another cons. So I would just dump the Gamma. And we would do the cons play with the... And just having Meltdown up gives us... The interactions we have on our opponent's turn are just so insane. Let's see. Dump this, dump this. We can use Alistair to check if the back row's real so we can have Shaddolls plays. Because the last interruption they would have would be the Imperm that we failed to snipe. Or I mean, no, actually we did snipe the Imperm. The Blackout's dead, so we actually just have free reign to do what we want. Did we resolve Hedgehog? No, we didn't, so we would actually go for the Hedgehog. Summon. And we would do Resh, flip the Hedgehog, search for our El Shaddolls Fusion because it plays around Blackout better. And then what we would do, instead of setting up Kaliga because Baron's still up on the field, so we would use the Alistair to grab Invocation, and then we would clear the Baron with the Alistair by going into Invoke Aguadis. So we just Invo, banish, summon Aguadis, put Invo back, Aguadis pop. We would banish the Searing Dragon, and that would clear the whole field, and you'd be sitting on this field right here. Construct, Squamata, Invoke Aguadis, El Shaddolls Fusion, Alistair in hand, and Nutty follow-up, broke the whole field. Prevent them from playing the game, and you can still play the game yourself. That's just ideal. That's beautiful. Execution was, I don't know if it was perfect, but it got the job done. There was another risky line that I saw, but I just don't think that going for Mirror Jade, as even both of the lines cleared the field, but the difference with the Mirror Jade versus going for Construct was the follow-up from Mirror Jade is just not good enough. The Despia cards are cool, but Shaddolls just, they're everything, and Winda actually stops that deck from playing, whereas like Mirror Jade, you know, on my turn, it's just a dead interruption on their turn, so all I'd end on is like an Invoke play. And that actually clears everything, you guys. Let me check time. Yeah, that clears everything. That's crazy. They just broke the board again. The execution should have been better, as in like maybe